Okay, hi. So I am going to do an update for our homeschool in this video. This will be for our second quarter. Our homeschool year consists of 4 quarters, and each quarter is about 8 to 10 weeks long. Okay, and today's Wednesday, so this is we're finishing up our second quarter, and this is our 20th week of homeschool. Okay, so before I get into the curriculum, I'll just go ahead and say that our second quarter did not go as planned. We didn't get as much accomplished as I felt like we should have. Okay, sorry about that. I had to check on something. Anyhow, so like I was saying, I felt like we didn't get as much accomplished as what we normally would have, or especially what I felt like we should have. And the reason for that, it's a number of reasons. But the first event that happened was the first week in October. I had something happen to me, and I'm not ready to talk about it yet. But anyway, but the thing that happened, it took me a while to recover from it. It wasn't until about the middle of November that I started feeling, better. I started feeling more like myself, and my brain wasn't so foggy. But anyway, and but still, October, November still weren't good. December, I started getting a lot better, but then I don't really feel like it was until the 1st of January to where I really felt like myself, and I really felt fully recovered. So, that's pretty much our whole second quarter right there. So because I was feeling like that, my brain just was not able to really, get in deep with their homeschool. I had some good days throughout that. I did force myself to do things that needed to be done, but overall, it was just really, really hard for me to, to do their school with them and stuff. So that was one reason why, we're not as far along as what we should be. But anyway, and then, as we moved a year ago, so this is our second holiday season at our new place. So now, anytime there's holidays, we have to travel to go see family and friends and things. So, we traveled for Thanksgiving and we traveled for Christmas, and that also takes away weekdays for school. And then on New Year's Eve, my mom had to have an emergency appendectomy, where they take out her appendix. And that totally, no one saw that coming. She just went in, she was just, having a little bit of pain, and went in, and the doctor looked at her, and he said, I think this is what's happening, but let's, do some scans and some blood work. And he said, that's what it looks like. So he had the surgeon look at it to see what he thought, and he's like, we gotta get you on the table. And so my mom was in surgery for 2 hours, and the surgeon said whenever he got in there, that her appendix was actually rupturing at that moment. So anyway, she was in the hospital for 3 days, and the girls and I went down there and stayed with her and Dad for a week, Monday through Friday, to help them, help take care of her. So, there goes another week. But anyway, she's doing so great. She went back to work last week. So, I have my notes here. Okay, so I think that's all on reasons why our school has not, been as it normally would be or such. Okay, so we've had a couple snows already this this winter, and then just last week we got almost 9 inches of snow again. So the girls want some snow days, so they built a couple snowmans. They had a friend over, stayed a couple nights. Anyway, okay, so to the curriculum. What's working, what's not working, thoughts, things like that. Okay, so let's see. Okay, so my oldest is doing Saxon math. Saxon math, and she still likes it. I like it. We bought the little dive discs, so she watches what the teacher says on there, and you know, it's easy for me. Um, she doesn't complain about it. It does take her longer than any math she's done before, so I really thought that she'd complain about that, but she doesn't at all. She really likes it, so there we go. My youngest is still doing teaching textbooks. This is her, I guess, 2.5 years of doing that, and she has no plans to change. She really likes that. Reading, as always, they just read. There's no complaints with that. Let's see, language. Okay, so language, you know, last year was our first year using the Good and Beautiful, and we're doing it again this year. We're all three still happy with that. They don't complain about it. They enjoy it. I do think that, like most kids, they do like the variety of it. You know, each day, you know, it's something different. It may be an art lesson, geography, or just reading, you know, or grammar, of course, or writing. But anyway, but they really like it. They don't complain about it. I like it. Anyway, I don't know. It's going good, so no complaints there. So science and history. Okay, I'll start with history. Okay, so last school year, you know that we used this Simply Charlotte Mason, and this covers the Middle Ages. Okay, so we did this last year for history. That was our first year ever, you know, using this. Okay. Last year, if you recall, we absolutely loved it. Like, we never missed a history day. Well, we did history Monday through Friday. We never missed doing it. My girls wanted to do it the first subject. They wanted me to keep on doing it all day long. They loved it. I loved it. We were all three learning. We were, you know, we're pretty close. You know, we're pretty close anyway, but like we were bonding even more by, you know, being funny with it. We just had a great time. Okay, so this year we bought the next history level, early modern. Okay, okay. The idea is the same, but it's not as fun. And the reason is because the first year we did it, it was our first year. And so they tell you, like last year when we did it for the first time, my oldest was in 7th grade and my youngest was in 4th grade. So I had to buy some books that we read as a family that I would read out loud. And then I was supposed to buy books that my 7th grader would read on her own, alone, and then books my 4th grader would read on her own and alone. Okay? Well, that was a lot of books, okay? And not to mention a lot of money when we buy all those books. Well, since it was our first year and it was so many books, I was thinking we may not get through all those books, so let's just meet in the middle. And so I bought the books for a 6th grader and just bought that set. And then instead of them each reading alone, I read the family reading, and then I would read out loud, you know, to them the reading books, those chapter books. And we were all there together, and I think that that was the key as to why it was so enjoyable. Well, this year, you know, moving on to this, since we loved it so much last year, I went ahead and I bought the family books that I am to read out loud, and then I also bought my 8th grader her set of books to read on her own, and my 5th grader her set of books to read on her own. So that's what they do. I'll read out loud, and then I'll say, okay, you know, you got to go read this chapter out of this book and that chapter out of that book. And they do, and they don't complain about it. They like it, but it's nothing like last year. Nothing at all. I have not talked to them about it, so I don't really know how they feel about it. I guess they're fine with it because they love to read. They have not complained. But you know, I don't know. For me, I'm not involved in that, and so I'm kind of sad about that. And another thing, for me and my style, you know, as you know, there are no tests, there's no worksheets for any of this. What you do, after the child reads, you have them narrate to you, okay? And then, like, at the end of each term, they call them terms instead of quarters, and there's 3 terms. At the end of each term, they're supposed to, like, write a paper about, you know, something they learned about, or do some kind of project. Well, we're not good with that around here. We're just not. So we have yet to do anything like that. So because I've tried, and you know, they'll start one, but then we just never finish it. Or they may finish like a rough draft, but we never finish the final draft. I don't know. We're not good with that. So because of that, I have nothing to put back into their files, you know, nothing to grade. So there's nothing. And so that's a problem. So I don't know. Anyway, but the next thing is to save on some of the book cost for this year. I did buy almost all of their reading books, but there were, I think, maybe 4 that our library had that I decided just to not buy and just borrow from the library. Well, 1 book for each girl. I think there's another person in my area using the same stuff for the same ages because 2 books that my girls need, one for my oldest, one for my youngest, they have been checked out and overdue since like October, and they're not there. So because of that, we have not done this in a couple months, maybe a month at least. Yeah, at least a month. We have not done that. And I could just skip that book and then move on to another, I guess, but it is a chronological history, so I really don't need to. So we've kind of like paused on that. So in the meantime, I've just grabbed these books out of storage, out of our filing cabinet. So my youngest has been doing this, and she's on chapter 4, I think. Yeah. Okay, so she's doing this for history right now. She's on chapter 4. And then my oldest is on chapter, I don't know, 3 or 4. Sorry, my oldest came up looking for her history book. Anyway, so she's on chapter 3 or 4 on this. Okay, so this is what they've been doing for the past month. And no complaints. They don't mind it. So, you know, there we go. Okay, so my thinking is for the next school year, even though I really love, and they really love, you know, just reading and the living books, if you do that, if you do a living book type of, you know, schooling, at least in my state, you know, you have to have some kind of proof. You have to have some kind of records, you know, or even an evaluation to prove that they're learning. And the only thing that we could offer, if we were to continue just living books, would be like written narrations or essays. Okay? But we're not good with that. I know that we just could not keep up with that. So, I don't know. So I'm kind of wondering if maybe we should just stick with Abeka history, especially for my oldest anyway. I mean, she'll be in high school next year. And she has done 4th, 5th, 6th, and this is grade 7. So she has used the Abeka 4th, 5th, 6th, and 7th grade history books. And she has never complained. Actually, she used the K5 also, and I think 1st grade as well. Anyway, but she's never complained about it. She always likes them, so I don't think that would be an issue. And then my 5th grader, she used Abeka K5 history, and then the 4th. I don't think she's done any others. Anyway, and she hasn't complained so far. So I kind of wonder if maybe I should just put them in that next year. I don't know. 'Cause we really like this type of stuff, but I know that we're just not good at keeping up with doing that. So that same idea, you know, just a second, I forgot something. Okay, sorry, I had to get a couple more books. Alright, so the exact same thing that I said with the Charlotte Mason Living Books for History, and then, you know, what I said about just maybe possibly switching to Abeka because of not having things to, you know, grade, records, you know, and evaluations. That exact same thing applies to their science as well. So my oldest is using Abeka Science this year. Perfectly fine. She's doing really great at that. No problem at all. So my 5th grader, she is using Simply Charlotte Mason Learning About Birds. And the book that you read with this, Burgess the Bird Book, we just love that book. And I have a playlist for all the birds in order that they're mentioned in the book on YouTube. Anyway, so, you know, so we just love this book. It's a great book. And you do learn about birds. But the same idea applies, the same concept. You know, you just read a chapter out of the book, and then you color a page or you draw a picture of the bird, and then for a test, you just have a few questions, or it just says, you know, narrate. Same idea. So, so she's still doing this. She is, no, actually, sorry, she's done with this. But she's been doing this, you know, it's only January, and so she's been doing this for a little while now. Understanding God's World. This is also from Abeka. This is what my oldest had used. And so anyway, so she's doing this, and she's content with it as well. No problems. But in the Abeka Science and also the Abeka History, I do have like the test. I don't give them the busy work, you know, all the extra worksheets, activity sheets, things like that. I don't give them that. I just give them the test. And then if there are some kind of cute, fun little thing that's on another sheet, you know, and I feel like, you know, they're not already overloaded, I'll go ahead and throw that in. But she's doing this, and she likes it, and then also this is the Abeka Health as well that she's doing. So that is how their school is going as far as their curriculum, and those are just kind of my thoughts on next year. I really do like the Charlotte Mason idea. Oh, something else. Okay, so because we don't do all the busy work that comes in like the activity packets and worksheets and all that little stuff, we do the test. But since we don't do all the other little busy work, and because they love to read so much, my other thought could be that, well, let me get one out here. Alright, so my other thought could be that whatever that chapter is talking about, they can actually, you know, just go to the library, or we have a lot of historical books, reading books downstairs as well. You know, they can just read just a living book as well, you know, to go along with this. I mean, why not, right? I don't see anything wrong with that. I mean, actually, my youngest is doing that already. Right now she's reading Plymouth Pioneers by American Adventures, I think is the series. Anyway, so she's done that on her own. Okay, so those are my thoughts. That's how our second quarter has went. But I want to show you where my youngest is doing her schoolwork now. You know that we were doing the schoolwork in the living room, and you know, like I'm still in there a lot. But my oldest, I put her a tote in her room with all of her curriculum, and it's been there all year. Okay, so she's been doing pretty much all of her schoolwork in her room out of her tote. Well, my youngest, she wanted a desk, so just last week her desk came in, and she's always been more independent and wanted to be more independent than my oldest at a much younger age. But now that she always has been, but now that she has this desk, she is even much more so. So I'm going to go show you her desk. We actually had just repainted her room like on December 20th. Yeah, no, December 19th. We had painted her room and got rid of her dresser and a nightstand and got her a big 16 cube storage thing with bins. And then now she has a desk and she's just like all set up. She loves it. So I will go show you that. Okay, so this is her desk. We still have to buy the bins. We just got it last week, but we bought it from Walmart.com and it was like $38. It's a Mainstays brand. But, oh, that's blurry. But anyway, she was very, very excited when she got it. So now she does, what do? All your schoolwork? Yep. She does all her schoolwork up here. She has her little lamp.
Do my crafts here.
You do your crafts here too. But this one bin here holds all of her schoolwork. This is for the entire year, plus her Bible, and then some of the books that she's reading. And then she has her planner there, and then a notebook there. Like I said, we gotta get some, cute little bins and put some there too. And this is just a chair that I got just from an individual for $5. So it's a swivel chair, and it raises up, and she loves that.
I do.
Okay, and she wants me to show you her room. Okay, so this is her room. So we had her walls, they were like a grayish color, and then the doors were wood, not real wood, the cheap wood. They were brown. Yes, brown. And the trim was too. And then, oh, better watch out. I don't want you in there. Come over here. Anyway, and this is the 16 cube thing I was telling you about. So, there we go. But we were able to get rid of her dresser and her nightstand, so all her clothes and toys and craft box and getting ready stuff and just books and Bibles and all kinds of stuff is in there. And and she also has, oh, you didn't get those lined up, but she also has some bins under her bed as well. And there's there too. Anyway, and there's a picture over there, but I'm not going to show you that. Anyway, but that is her room, and that is her desk, and so she spends all her school time doing it here, and she really loves it. She just gets ready in the morning and just jumps in it, and in a couple hours she has all her schoolwork done. So that has been really neat to see. Okay, so I don't think I mentioned which daughter that was. I don't know. Anyway, so that room you just saw, that was my youngest. She's 10. That was her room. And so she's very excited about it now that it's all finally done. Anyway, what? Okay, sorry about that. Anyway, so yes, that was her room. And so those are my ideas. Our second quarter update. Something else I was going to say. Oh. Anyway, well, thank you for watching, and I hope you have a great day.